Okay, so today we're going to look at some of the mistakes new vegans make and how we can fix these. Okay, first up we have given up too soon or after you make a small mistake. We need to remember that it's difficult to change your eating habits from the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever that might be for you. And it's going to be quite difficult to do that overnight. For most of us, it is going to take some time to transition. So don't get too caught up if you make a mistake, either knowingly or unknowingly, as it does happen. The best thing you can do after making a mistake is just move on to the next meal or the next day. We can also take some lessons from this. Maybe we went somewhere and we were unprepared. Maybe there was no vegan options. So maybe in the future, we know if we're going there, we need to plan ahead a little bit. Either call the restaurant ahead of time. Maybe we need to pack our own lunch or own dinner, whatever that might be. Or maybe we bought a product that we thought was vegan. It turns out it wasn't. That's fine. At least we know now that product isn't vegan, so we can mark it off our shopping list or grocery list. So just turn those mistakes into a learning opportunity and move forward. So the second mistake a lot of new vegans make is thinking that because something is labeled vegan, it's automatically healthy. Unfortunately, this just isn't the case. There's a lot of heavily processed vegan junk food options available now that are often high in refined sugars, salts, refined oils. While these foods can help with the transition, for example with me, I did consume quite a lot of mock meats when I was transitioning, but overall we want to make sure we're eating a large proportion of whole foods each day. So that means fruit, veggies, nuts, seeds, whole grains, legumes. That should be the core of our diet, and stuff like mock meats or vegan junk food should make up a small proportion of our diet. So for example, if we're going to have dinner and we have some mock meats, well, we can pair that with some whole grains or starchy veg, combined with lots of other veggies like greens, plus a fat source like avocado, or maybe a nut butter sauce. This way we can build a balanced plate that's packed with nutrients, plus we also have that food in there that's making it easier to transition, the mock meat in this instance. Let me know what it was like for you when you were transitioning. Okay, the third mistake is just not eating enough overall. Plant foods are naturally less calorie dense, and as we're transitioning, we're also removing animal-based foods. This combination can make it difficult for people to hit their calorie needs, so we need to make sure that we're planning ahead for this. Your body needs a certain amount of calories each day to function properly, and if we're not providing our bodies with this, it can lead to issues around fatigue, deficiencies, etc. What I like to do is, if I'm working with somebody, get them to track a couple of days on Cronometer just to see how many calories they're getting and if we need to adjust that. Cronometer is just a meal tracking app. You can also use something like MyFitnessPal. There's no need to track your food forever, but just tracking a couple of days can be enough. Okay, so leading into that, number 4 is not balancing our macros. Because animal-based foods tend to be higher in protein, when we remove these, we're often removing the main protein source from our meals. So we need to make sure that we're substituting this with a plant-based protein source. Protein is essential, so don't neglect this. Thankfully, it's quite easy. There's tons of plant-based protein sources. Some of my favorite are tempeh, tofu, seitan, lentils, beans, and my personal favorite is TVP. So just make sure you're including a protein source with each meal. Then finally, the last major mistake I see new vegans make is not planning ahead. So as we're transitioning, it's obviously a new way of eating, so we need to make sure that we know what meals we're going to be consuming during the week, or at least we've got a good idea. That way we can plan ahead and either prepare the meals in advance if we're meal prepping, or we can have our shopping done beforehand so our fridge is packed with all the foods we need for the week. When we don't do this, and we're second guessing what meal we're going to have each day, this is when I find people fall back into old habits and consume those foods that they would have consumed before the transition. One thing that I like to do is have my freezer packed with frozen fruit, veggies, and also some vegan ready meals. That way I know I always have something quick and easy to make. One of my favorite quick meals is just cooking some rice with a frozen veggie stir fry mix, air frying some tempeh, and then making a peanut butter sauce to go with that. It literally takes 20 to 30 minutes, and it's also easy to batch prep this. Let me know if you want me to do a vegan meal prep video below. There's no reason why we can't be successful in our transition to a vegan diet. We just need to take account of some of these mistakes and make sure we avoid them. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments.